Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video. This one is a request from Northlander. It's one of two that he made at pretty much the same time, and it's very much based on a comment that he had made in a previous video. I'll go back to all of that once we get this run underway. So for this one we are on the North Wales coastline, and believe me, he really has not held back when it comes to this particular request, because we are doing the entire length of the North Wales coastline DLC, which, I mean, it doesn't even start in Wales. We start at Crewe, and then once we have traversed the entire North Wales coastline, we then cross into Anglesey, and we do basically the entire from south to north journey across Anglesey. So the total distance is 105 miles. I mean, we really are in for the long haul for this one. And if that wasn't enough, we are stopping at every stop, including all of the request stops, and there's plenty of request stops on this line. Now, the train we are going to be using is a Class 35. Now, Class 35 did operate in quite a few areas, but I don't think it operated on the North Wales coastline. Nevertheless, it is still very much a loco that is capable of doing this route. So he did admit he wasn't sure, and he didn't know if this thing was capable of doing it, but you know, if it wasn't, or if I even had any sort of like doubts about it being able to, I would have replied to his request and I wouldn't be here recording this now. So I don't think we've got any problems there. So we are going to be using one in the BR blue. I did want to do one, I did want to use one in the British Railways green, but the BR green, I really like it when it has the full yellow warning panel. And unfortunately, yeah, the BR green of the 35 doesn't have that in this game. So BR blue it is, and we are going to be the train will consist of 5 BR blue Mark 1 coaches. It's the shortest train that I could choose. I mean, considering that there are a lot of stations here with very, very short platforms, even 5 coaches is far too long for a lot of these stations. So yeah, didn't really have much option there. I mean, in some cases, as long as I overshot the platform by the length of the loco, I'd still, no more than 2 coaches. That's how short these platforms are. So anyway, that's the train that we're using anyway. Now, as far as the specifics, again, it's all stuff that he specifically stated. So it is summer, it is clear. I actually had the choice between clear or light cloud, but I went with clear because we want to see, like, the scenic views that this line has to offer, which are, fantastic. And it is 4 p.m. That's the time he chose. I honestly have no idea why he chose that time, but nevertheless, that is the time that it is going to be. So that is the setup. Let's get this up and running. And here we are. I'm not going to say I'll cut here because yeah, I forgot to do it completely in the last video, so we kept the edit point. Right, now this loco does not take a great deal of setting up, because there really isn't a great deal to set up in this thing. I think we are almost here. Yeah, we'll have instrument lights on. Don't need cab lights. Headlights are on. That is everything there, I think. That doesn't do anything. Okay. So here is our Class 35. So this is one of the diesel hydraulics that entered service in... I can't remember exactly when it was. I think it was somewhere around 1959. It might even have been as late as 1960. And yeah, our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coaches. That is the lot. So it is quite a short train. The platforms that the stations that we are going to be visiting rather dictate that. Awful lot of smoke coming out of our engine. Again, nothing unusual about that. So right, just have another final check around. I think everything is all set. So right, release the engines, and that shows you that yeah, we are using vacuum brakes on this one. It's early diesel, but it's still very much using steam train yeah, brakes. So take one last look around Crewe. Very, very quiet here for Crewe. Crewe is never this quiet. It is, I think, one of the busiest, if not the busiest, interchange in the country. So right, let's get underway. So we're not going to have much difficulty pulling away from standstill. This is a reasonably powerful loco, the old Class 35. I mean, it's Type 3. It generates just over 1800 horsepower. And it's only pulling 5 coaches here. So it is not going to have any trouble getting up to speed. So we have passed one Class 158. You will see the old APT there, the Class 370. That is where it is now kept here in Crewe. And once we are in a quiet-ish area, I'll do a quick tour of the cab. So we're now in a 50 zone. I think we've got a reasonable amount of speed here. We can go straight into full throttle. So the Class 35, its top speed is 90. I think it does somewhat struggle to get up to 90. Although it has been a while since I last drove one in this game, so it could be that, yeah, I'm just not remembering it very well. We're now entering a 90 zone. There we go, perfectly timed, so we're now in the 90 zone. The problem with driving this, and it's the same with all of the diesel hydraulics, or perhaps I should say all of the early diesel hydraulics. Yeah, it's not getting them up and running because they all go up to speed like pretty sharpish. It's slowing them down and stopping them. That's where things get a bit tricky because yeah, the brakes are the original vacuum brakes, and yeah, they are really not that impressive at all. Now I say about yeah, this only applies to the original diesel hydraulics, the early diesel hydraulics, because I mean, it's like whenever any train enthusiast refers to the diesel hydraulics, they are referring to the three that were used predominantly in the southwest. So that would be the class 42, the class 35 here, and the class 52. But there are other diesel hydraulic trains out there, and it's not like they're all pretty old. Prime example is the class 180, which is a truly awful multiple unit with horrendous reliability, but it is still in operation. God knows why, but it is. Well, that's a diesel hydraulic, and it could even be argued that the class 43, as in the original high-speed train, the Intercity 125, that is a diesel hydraulic. Needless to say that, yeah, when people are talking about diesel hydraulics, they're never referring to the original high-speed train. So we're not quite up to 86, there we go, now we are, but yeah, our acceleration rate has really tailed off. There is a fair old gap between yeah, Crewe and our first stop, which is at Chester. Well, while it is this quiet, yeah, here is our look around the cab. And behind us here is our hot plate. We can, yeah, even switch it on. Heat up any grub we might fancy. I remember in one of Jim Play's videos, he was, I forget how he got onto the subject, but he was talking about having a kettle in his room or something, and then he was saying about, you imagine what it would be like if you had a kettle in the cab of the train, and the risk of boiling water going all over the place. Well, there were several trains that did actually have that. And yeah, this was one. But the one that it was on most often was the class 37. But the class 37 at least had like a separate room that you could put it in. You know, in the front nose section there. Now those sections had, you know, they weren't there just for the sake of it. There was some pretty important machinery in there. The blowers for the engines were both in there, and at one end there was an intercooler, and I think at the other there was, it might have even been one of the turbos. But there was also some much more important stuff within those rooms. Firstly, there was the kettle for the driver and number 2 driver to have their well-earned cup of tea. But much more important, by far the most important thing, that was also where the driver's personal carsy was. But yeah, here in this particular train, or this particular loco I should say, yeah, if you wanted your cup of tea, there it was right behind you. So they would, yeah, very much rely on being able to drive this thing pretty well and not send everything flying about. So there was no danger of, you know, boiling kettles being thrown around the cab or anything like that. Though I do suspect, as we are about to enter a 75 zone, we can start picking up some speed again. There we go. I do suspect that the number 2 driver was usually the one who would be making the tea, and he'd make damn sure he didn't yeah, get knocked about anyway. I think as far as external views, we're not likely to get much in the way of side views at the moment. We do have a few semaphore signals on this section of the track, but it does look like yeah, it is just going to be all overhead views. We're now entering a 90 zone. We're now in it. So, I mean, we are in a somewhat scenic locale, but we are nowhere near, well, I say, I mean, we're still in England. I was about to say we're nowhere near Wales. I mean, we started not that far away from Wales, you know, to begin with, but yeah, once we reach the next stop, which is Chester, yeah, we are really close to Wales then. There goes a class 175. To put it mildly, I am not a fan of the 175, but there is worse out there. Well, we still have a bit of a gap. I mean, so yeah, once you have this on making your cup of tea, what will go nicely with a cup of tea? Well, how about a pie? And then we can move that over to, yeah, there we go. So we've got that ready for us. Let's be honest, that's probably not the most important feature that they could have added to this loco in the game, but why not? It gives it a bit of character. I thought that was a great idea, including that. certainly can't be too far away from Chester now. It is all rather flat around here, but yeah, once we reach North Wales that will change. Our first stop once we are in Wales is at Shotton station. I think that's the next stop after Chester. We're at 87.1, it really does look like that is as fast as we're able to go. No, clearly not. So we have a 65 mph section coming up. I suspect that is where Chester station is coming up. Got to really come down to 30 mph in just over 1.5 miles. That will be the approach to Chester, and you can see that now on the route display. I don't know which of these platforms we're supposed to stop at. I suspect we could stop at, actually we could stop at either one. They're both the same sort of length. Now this is the issue I have with these bloody vacuum brakes. Just cannot get them to. There we go. Right now they are actually working. Yes, beforehand, yeah, the air was constantly coming back into them again. So we'll come in a bit below the 30 speed limit. Well, looks like we will stop completely on platform 3A. And with it only being 5 coaches, we'll be able to do that just fine. There we go, that was not too bad. So, yep, here we are then at Chester. Another rather major station. Not quite as major as the one at Crewe that we started from, but certainly big enough. Anyway, it was quite a short stop. Let's not do that. Away we go. Limit as we pull away from here. We have another 175 coming in. So that line that's pulling away there would be taking you up towards Merseyside. I think it takes you up towards like the Wirral, Birkenhead, that sort of way. So entering a 50 mph zone. Right, let's get some speed up. This thing does accelerate quite well. I mean, again, it does help that we are pulling a very small and very light train here. Heading down the hill here. I'm going to have to try and slow us down a bit there. We're entering a 60 zone. Oh, what the fuck happened there? Yeah, it was that thing going off. I've got to wait for it to come to a complete stop. I was too busy looking outside. I don't know what racecourse that is. It could be Wrexham. I mean, they do have a racecourse at Wrexham, hence why the football club plays at the racecourse ground. Right. Now that the brakes are off, we can resume. So again, no sort of like alert to us if the EWS is going off. And of course, when these things started running, yeah, there was no such thing as EWS. That got added later. Although it was an earlier diesel hydraulic, the Class 42, that was the first to actually feature some form of EWS system. It wasn't called EWS, I can't remember the name of it. But we'll be seeing that fairly soon because, like I say, Northanger did request 2 runs, both in Wales. This one in the north, the other one in South Wales. And yeah, for the South Wales one, we will be in the Class 42, the warship. This is the Hymek. So I was saying in the intro that it came about after a comment that he made, and he was saying that yeah, we'd seen a fair few good scenic views in England, and recently we've seen plenty of really good scenic routes in Scotland. And he was asking if there were any like scenic routes in Wales, and yeah, there certainly is. But when he mentioned it, it was quite quite aptly timed, because earlier that very day I was thinking I haven't done any runs in Wales for a while, and I came up with a couple that I mean I will do them, because the 2 I came up with, yeah, these 2 that have been requested by Northlander here are, yeah, one of them is not on either of the lines that has been requested, although it does intersect this particular line we're on, and the other is, well, it's in the south, but there's no reason why I couldn't do it. This looks very much like an airfield here. No idea which one, or even if it is one. It certainly looks like one. It might be time to switch off the hot plate. Yeah, our pie may end up getting a bit cold, but oh well. So I'm pretty sure we have now crossed the border into Wales anyway. So that race course that we passed, which could have been Wrexham. So yeah, we are in Wales, and yet here comes the next station, which is Shotton, and that is most certainly in Wales. And I noticed the speed a little bit late. Bring us down in steps, take us down to mid 40s, low to mid 40s. Another approaching 158. Car 158, that must have only been running as far as Bangor. Now see again there, the air is coming back into the brakes and we are not slowing. So yeah, quite a short platform here, and I am, well, yeah, we should get the whole thing on. Obviously we'll have the loco going over a bit, but yeah, we would certainly get all 5 coaches on there. There we go, that will do. Are they all on? I mean, they could easily get off that one, so yeah, I'm saying that's a good stop. A hell of a lot of smoke pouring out of here. Even the class 50 doesn't give off this much. Alright, looks like doors are all shut. Off we go. I'm pretty sure the next stop is Flint. We are fast approaching a 90 mph zone. I can't remember the name of that big ass bridge there. Certainly looks like we're passing some sort of power station, or at least a relay point. So yep, it is Flint Station coming up. See, now the brakes are working fine. I don't get why sometimes the vacuum works no problem, and then other times as soon as you apply the brakes the vacuum's gone and the air's come back in again. There you go, so it's coming back in. So here we are then at Flint Station. Sounds like yeah, doors are shut, so you certainly don't stop at these stations for particularly long. So very close to the next 90 zone. You see the signpost coming up. So yeah, into the 90 zone. Certainly getting close to the coastline, you can see it there. reduction down to 75 is fast coming up. Still trying to remember what the next station is. It might be Prestanding. Flying for the 75 zone that's coming up. There we go, so into the 75 zone. It's very short. Past another 158. So this short section is gun barrel straight. I cannot for the life of me see why this has a 75 mph speed limit on it. Back into a 90 zone again, but not for very long. Just put a little brakes on. There we go. So we're now okay for this 75 section that's coming up. No idea what that rusty old ship is, but well, maybe anyone familiar with the area might be able to let us know. Continuing to let the speed drop down. I don't really know why. And I thought there was a station fairly nearby, but I mean, it appears on the route display we still got plenty of time to get our speed down, even with the brakes that I still can't really get the grips with. You do certainly get the sense of speed in the old 70, in the old 35 here. Yeah, very much on the actual north coast now. entering the 85 zone. There we go. Right, so we can get a bit more speed up. So yeah, next station is indeed Prestatyn. Cannot get the brakes to stay operational. Not slowing down fast enough. I don't think we are anyway. We might be alright. Well, it certainly looks like we're okay here. Rather handy that it's quite a major station, so yeah, we've got a big old platform here. So here we are at Prestatyn. Sounds like the doors have already all shut. Okay, onwards. Not entirely sure what the next station is. We are not that far from Llandudno Junction. It is obviously an extremely major station within Wales. speed decrease coming up in, yeah, just over a mile and a half. Takes us down to 75. But I don't think that's because there's a station coming along. I think it may well be because of our, well, I was going to say our proximity to the coast, but we weren't that far away from the coast, to put it mildly, just a few miles back, and yeah, we were able to speed along quite okay. It could be real, the next station. I'm sure there is a real station. Yep, it is. Have a yellow aspect, really only a single, well I say only a single, I mean all of the signals I think on this line are just single aspect signals, so we can't get double yellows even if we wanted them. It is still single yellow. We are going over points. That's where that 40 is coming, yeah, coming from. As we pull into real station, here we are. Okay, so yep, here is Rule. It was Welsh coastal town, Rule. Very, yeah, very near the coast indeed, if it's not actually on it. Right. Now, I was actually testing something as we were pulling into that station, and I don't want to put the kiss of death on it or anything, but I think I have figured out how to get these brakes working. It's taken me long enough, but yeah, I think I've done it. We'll find out when we pull into the next station. Oh, that was close. So into the 85 zone. So yeah, I think all of that there is still part of Rhyl. Not sure what river this is that we are about to pass over. Another 75 section coming up. We haven't even reached 75 yet, so we'll accelerate to 75 and then it coasts from there. So it's Abergelly is next. I'm sure it's, yeah, Abergelly, not Abergelly. Abergelly and Pensan. Alright, so let's start bringing our speed down. Yep, I have figured out how to use these brakes. Another 175 passing by. So, yep, here we are. Yeah, very much on the coast here. Again, another very short stop. So entering an 85 zone. I do have a feeling the next stop could be No Junction. Yeah, a lot of the Welsh hills starting to make their appearance. This is where the scenery of this route really does start to come alive. We are approaching an uphill gradient which does become fairly steep. Another speed reduction as we reach the top of it. Let the gradient slow us down a bit for this 75 section. Doesn't really matter if it takes us below 75 because I mean we're already fine now speed wise, but as we go through Penmain Ross tunnel, we'll be gaining speed as we are going downhill. So yeah, we're in the 75 section, we're well below it, but we are going to be picking up speed. And yet my pasty is still there. So actually it's Colwyn Bay that's next, but No Junction is the next stop after Colwyn Bay. I knew there was a station around here that began with C, and it wasn't Conway, there was another one, but I couldn't for the life of me remember what it was called. Another 158. So here we are at Colwyn Bay, complete with its pier right there. Nowhere near the size of Southend's one. Once again, another very short stop. Oh, away we go. So yeah, next stop is Llandudno Junction. And if memory serves, it's not that far away either. Now, I said earlier that yeah, there was another scenic Welsh route that I have, and it intersects part of this route. Well, Llandudno Junction is where it does that. It starts at Llandudno itself, and then goes through the Gunwy and then to yeah, to Llandudno Junction. But then it carries on south and ends up taking you to Blaenau Festiniog. So that is the Conwy Valley line. But yeah, so I've got that one sort of lined up. I know what train I'll be using on it. I have a feeling that you are a bit limited as far as like which trains are suitable for that line. So yeah, I know pretty much which one I'm going to use. Speed decrease coming up in just over a mile, but really the one we want to focus on is the 50 mph speed decrease, and there you can see it's just before Llandudno Junction. Speed wise we are fine for our approach here. So yeah, very short gap from between here and Conwy station, which of course is within the walls of Conwy Castle. So another 175 going past. Llandudno Junction is actually the last station on this line until Bangor. That is a compulsory stop. All the stops now between Llandudno Junction and Bangor are all requests. In fact, once we leave this station, Bangor is the only station that is not a request stop. Rather ridiculously, that does include Holyhead. even though that is a terminus, but yeah, it is actually officially listed as a request stop. So here we are at Llandudno Junction, so somewhere around here is the line that takes you northwards to the Gunwy and Llandudno itself. In fact, we've probably already passed it. And also somewhere around here is the yeah, the line that takes us down into the Conwy Valley line. That was a big old 158 that passed us there. It was a 6-car one. Anyway, let's see if we can spot the line that would take us to yeah, that yeah, the Conwy Valley line. I suspect it's this one here on the far left. Well, that looks very much like the route that takes us up to Llandudno. So there's me saying we may have already passed it. In fact, no, we hadn't. So yeah, the route that goes on to the Conwy Valley, I think that's the one we've passed. So we can clearly see Conwy Castle up ahead. It's a fantastic location for a railway station. They did actually have to knock some of the castle wall down so that the trains could fit through. And when they first started running the 175s, they found that it was too wide to fit through the tunnels, so they had to take down some more of them. You can imagine how delighted they were with having to do that. So we certainly will not be getting very many carriages on yeah, this station. It looks like we're going to get 3. Only 2, actually no, only 1 opened, but yeah, we managed to get 3 of them on there. So that is Conwy. Trying to remember the next station, I think it's Penmaenmore. I think we got a fair old gap between Conwy and Penmaenmore. Enter the next 75 zone. leave Conwy Castle, yeah, quite far behind. We already can't see it. Slow to 55. We go through Penmain Back tunnel. You can see the road tunnel there. The rail tunnel, yeah, it's just up ahead here. Once we leave, we're back in a 75 zone. Just need the length of the train to enter said zone. There we go. Penmain Moor station is a mile and a half along the line. I'm that confident that I've got the brakes sussed that yeah, I was willing to leave the braking this late. I seem to have an awful lot of requests on this particular train. In fact, yeah, this station is a fair old size. You can easily get the whole thing on here. So yeah, there we are. So yep, this is Penmain Moor. Might be pronounced Penmain Moor, but I'm Fairly sure it is Penmain Moor. Right, another short stop onwards. The next stop is Holyhead. And yeah, amazingly it seems as though I have a request to stop there as well. Meant to click. So yeah, right away along the effectively a cliff edge now. So yeah, penny clip tunnel. You can see from the description, avalanche tunnel. That's why they decided to build it. A lot of rockfalls and that in the area. So yeah, Holyhead station fast approaching. Another 175. There's certainly no shortage of those things on this route, or the South Wales route either. Coming in very slowly here. Yeah, you can actually get the whole train on here, no problem. So, yep, here is Holyhead. So this is the last request stop on the mainland. The next station, our next stop is Bangor. So yeah, this is where you would change if you wanted the Cambrian coast, which is a line I really wish they had in the game. We do have a max speed reduction back down to 75 coming up. Clearly we haven't even reached that speed yet, so we'll just do like we did before, accelerate up to 75 and then coast from there. Only just made it at 75 when yeah, we entered the zone. So there is a bit of a distance between Hymek and Bangor. That's me not paying attention. Could be my memory playing tricks with me, but I think that's the first speeding error I've got. Once again, I get all that way, and then yeah, my concentration wanes for just a second, and I get a poxy fucking speeding error. So Bangor station, fast coming up. Very slow entry speed, just 15 mph. If you think that's a rather weedy AWS alert, wait until you hear the one in the 42. So this is Bangor Tunnel itself. We have, I think that's single yellow, but we are changing the line. Yes, fine for that speed. So yeah, this is where we would change if we were, well, yeah, if you were a passenger and you were wanting the Cambrian coast. Like I say, I really do wish that was a line that we had in the game. But yeah, this is Bangor Station. We're a bit too far from the coast to see the Menai Bridge. We will be seeing one bridge very up close and personal. So again, quite a short stop. So we'll leave Bangor, which is my old man's birthplace. He may have been born here, so, you know, technically yes, he is a Welshman, but he was pretty much brought up and raised in East London. I mean, he went to school in Leytonstone, so yes, he is a Welshman, but he hasn't spent that much longer in Wales than I have. So enter Belmont Tunnel. Thankfully we do have a speed increase coming up while we are going through it. In fact, it's already into effect. At 45 mph that we are coming up to, I'm pretty sure marks the start of the bridge that we are going over, that takes us on to Anglesey. If it's not that one, it's definitely that 40. It looks like it's the 40, yeah, there's the bridge over there. I can't remember the name of it now. I think it's called something really boring, like it's either the Victoria Bridge or the Albert Bridge, it's something like that. So as we have left Bangor, yeah, all the remaining stations are request stops. The first of which is that station, which I cannot even begin to pronounce, so I'll just say the name of the village it serves, which is Llanfairpwll. So the vast majority of the line now is single rail from here until Holyhead. So here is the bridge taking us across the Menai Straits. Above us is the road. So yeah, there we go. We are now on Anglesey. No longer on the Welsh main line. Mainland, I should say. Certainly not on any main line. So we can soon accelerate up to 75. But yeah, we have Fire Park station coming up a bit sharpish, so we won't accelerate much. We'll accelerate a little bit, but certainly won't be going up to 75. I mean, this station only got this name so it would become like a tourist site, or effectively really a tourist trap. But it works like, I mean, it was miraculous how well it worked. You can see how tiny the platform is. The name's longer than the station. So yeah, I can get two. Yeah, I'll only get two bloody carriages on there. But well, let's go and take a look. That's where we are. And yeah, there's the actual station building with the name right on there. Yeah, if you plan on trying to pronounce that, good luck to you. So onwards, next station is Bodorgan. The station itself is a fair distance away from Bodorgan village itself. Nevertheless, it is the station that serves said village. Rather surprised that this two-line stretch here. I felt certain the whole of Anglesey was just single line. slow down a little lively for this 60 mph section coming up. That might be where the single line starts. Oh, well beyond it. This curve does not strike me as being anywhere near sharp enough to warrant this 60 mph limit, so there has to be another reason why there are speed reductions there. In the 75 zone. On a 1 in 102 downhill section, I have a feeling we don't need to be throttling up to accelerate here. Now 1 in 97. We're going to soon need to control our speed through some braking here. As I say, the gap between Hymek and Bedorgan is an awful lot longer than I thought it was. The Dorgan station is now on the route display. Certainly not as small as Hymek station was, but it's still pretty small. The smallest station in Wales is actually on this route. We haven't reached it yet. But I think it's the smallest station in Wales. If there is smaller, I can't see how it could be of any practical use whatsoever. So this one in 98 uphill section is certainly helping to slow us down. In fact, it's slowing us down a bit too well. I think we might be able to get all 5 coaches on the platform. Yep. So that one hasn't opened, but I mean that's absolutely fine. Look at the rear ones. Yeah, they're all fine. I did see that door shut. So yeah, this is Bedorgan. Bedorgan village itself, yeah, is way off down there, but yeah, there's a few houses in that round here, but yeah, the main village is way off in that direction. Right, that stop done. So our next stop is to Crewe. So yeah, I don't really know much about there. There's not a lot there, to put it mildly. Realise, yeah, we do have the carriage view, and it's none too shabby, especially in first class. It's the proper old style ones with yeah, the corridor off to the side there. Not bad at all. That's rail travel. That's how it should be. So yeah, to Christ Station on the route display. Yeah, very off-centered platforms. One on the other side has ended before this one even starts. So, yeah, this is to Christ Station. Yeah, the first one couldn't fit either, so you can only get 4 onto this platform, or into this station. But yeah, I mean, these scattered houses that you're seeing around, this is it. This is to Christ in its entirety. Right. Next stop is Ross Niger, which is, I think, easily the most scenic part of Anglesey. A fantastic part of Wales. I don't remember how well they have rendered it in this game though. Yeah, already only a mile away. again, I think it's the first four, or rather, yeah, the rear four carriages that are on the station. Yeah, this one definitely not. The rest are all fine. So this is Ross Niger. Yeah, it looks a lot better in real life than here, although I mean it doesn't exactly look terrible here, but yeah, in real life it's a fantastically beautiful part of Wales. Okay, the next stop is Valley. This is the smallest station on the route, and I'm pretty sure the smallest station in Wales, and it is our penultimate stop. I mean, if you're going to call a station a very generic Welsh term, there you go, Valley. It doesn't exactly tell you a great deal as far as where it is. Can you imagine? Oh, I'm lost. I'm somewhere in Wales. Oh, okay, where are you? Well, there's a station here called Valley. Well, that really helps. No idea what that is there. All this lot. Whatever it is, it's yeah, quite a major quite a major sort of like structures and that around there. So Valley is now on the route display. You can see how tiny the station is. here we are at the Valley Station, and yeah. We might just about get 2 carriages on the platform, but that's the lot. So we've got the front 2. We've overshot massively with the front, so in fact we've got 2nd and 3rd carriages on here. It doesn't look like any of them have actually, yeah, the doors haven't opened, so it's effectively acting as though none of them have got on here. But I mean, talk about a tiny bloody little station. Yeah. Two-car D-Mews are about the only things that could stop there. So onwards to the final stop, which is Holyhead, which is where this line terminates. So 15 mph limit as we make the final approach to Holyhead. It is yeah, a very slow entrance to the station. do have a bit of a downhill section as we are approaching this station here. Hopefully we don't pick up too much speed, because, well, we can't. We'll end up speeding. So we are in the 15 section now. See the 175 there. It's probably waiting for us to get by. That is our signal telling us platform 2 is okay. Picking up speed, yeah, 1 in 75 downhill here. And we don't have TPWS on this loco, but even so, slow down to make sure. I think this will certainly do. And there we are. That, yep, is Crewe to Holyhead, the North Wales coastline. And yeah, it's a great route, it really is. It's one that I should do far more often than I actually do. Yeah, it's got a bit of everything. And yeah, the class 35 was an absolutely fine choice of loco for that route. So penalty brakes were applied once, yeah, that's when I was doing the external view and didn't see the AWS. And only 3 speeding errors. And yeah, the loco absolutely breezed through it. Had no problems at all with any part of that run. Apart from maybe, yeah, the fact that even with only 5 carriages, it was still far too big for so many stations, especially once we got onto Anglesey. But yeah, fantastic run, great choice of loco for it. can't really fault it. I guess the only question now is, does anyone fancy a cold Cornish pasty? Anyway, that is this video done, and we will see you at the next one.